I was invited to go to Habitat for Humanity last Wednesday for what they call a Build Day, and it was interesting. I learned a lot, and I didn't know much about Habitat for Humanity, but their goal, and they actually have a nice mission statement. You know, what is Habitat for Humanity? They have it in one little paragraph. Habitat for Humanity seeks to eliminate substandard housing and to make decent shelter a matter of conscience and action. Habitat for Humanity invites people of all backgrounds, races, religions to build houses together in partnership with low-income, hardworking families and individuals. Habitat for Humanity has more than 1,500 local affiliates in the United States and more than 70 national organizations around the world. Together we have helped 6.8 million people find strength, stability, and independence through safe and decent, affordable housing since 1976. So it's a neat situation. How it works: through volunteer or labor or donations of money and material, Habitat for Humanity builds decent, sustainable, affordable homes with the help of partner homeowners. Habitat for Humanity homes are sold to partner families at no profit and financed with zero interest rates. So they get a 30-year fixed with zero interest. The homeowners' monthly mortgage payments are used to build even more homes, right? So then the money keeps. People that are selected to live in the homes of partner homeowners, well, they say they do, first of all, they do hand up, not a handout. So in addition to down payment and monthly mortgage payments, partner homeowners invest up to 500 hours of sweat equity, labor building their home and the homes for others. So they have to actually go in there and build and work that. They're selected because they got a demonstrated need. Home buyers must be low income, earning between 30 and 80% of the median income in that area. They must have good credit, no bankruptcies, no liens or judgments. They got to complete all their sweat equity hours. They got to take an 8-hour course on HUD certified pre-purchase home buyer education workshop. Might be good for you guys to see what that video is about. And then they have an 8-hour Habitat education program, as well as the HFH and GLA's comprehensive home ownership plans. So they do a lot to help people. The interesting thing for the Build Day for me was, and I'm just being real candid with you guys, I was invited down there through the Pango Group, you know, which is American Trust Advisors, Escrow Trust Advisors, American Trust Escrow, and all those groups of people. And you know, I consider myself a little more skilled. Like, I'm capable of building things and doing, you know, hammers, nails, you know, nail guns. There was a big trench, and it was funny. This home was in Inglewood, and it was not the best neighborhood. And but this house is beautiful in the middle of this neighborhood. And it's funny, walking there, some guy is coming up and he's like, "You must be going to that volunteer house." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." Do I stick out that bad? But it was funny. I had a good time. We had a good laugh. And so there's, like, you know, we need 8 guys to fill in this trench. Now for me, as I saw, you know, a small bulldozer there, a little Bobcat, I'm like, why can't we take that and fill in the trenches? Right? Why not? But, you know, there's a big trash thing in the way that needed to be moved, so we're doing it. Pickaxing, manual labor, filling in these holes. And I lasted till about lunch. And then I unfortunately had to go. I did have an appointment I had to get to. And but I was tired. I was physically exhausted. Now, I would have thought, you know, like I said, I would have thought it would have been nicer to something a little more technical or something that felt more effective, but that's what they needed, and that's what we did. And then, of course, coincidentally, one of my friends that I was digging and shoveling with sent me a picture text about 2 hours later and said, "Hey, I finished digging the trench for you." And I see the picture. They did get the bulldozer out and leveled the whole thing off. So I was like, oh, come on. Really? You gotta be kidding me. So that's how that went down. The way it works is you don't just go there and help. You need to raise $5,000 to have a build day. I'm thinking that's interesting. So what it appears to me is that you go, you raise $5,000, you set up a fund, and once you get that money, then you and your group go and help for a day. So really what that build day is, it's effective working, but it's also like a photo op day, right? Because I think it's the $5,000 is a big donation. The building day, you know, I felt like what we did could have been done by the bulldozer in 30 minutes. But people do help, do build. They have actually, you know, real builders there. But it's also for the opportunity to then have these pictures taken that then you use in your marketing for your materials. So that you show people that you're socially conscious, that you care about people and want to help. Now you're in the real estate business. It might be a good hook for you. You know, maybe you have a nice client base and you want to go out and say, hey, in your area, hey, I'm going to get a build day and I'm looking for donations. I'm going to match, you know, 25% of what, you know, my clients put in, or I'll match 50%, whatever you feel like, and have a build day. Go in your community and get clients, get people, get friends, or reach out to your real estate buddies and raise $5,000 and have a build day. And then you get the pictures and the promotional, and I think it's a really interesting promotional idea for you. The Pango group is, I don't remember the exact number, it's like 4 or 5 different $5,000 build days they're trying to raise. You know, one's in San Diego, one's in Orange County, you know, because they're a big group. The other way you can do is there's a group called Give Back Homes. Basically, you can sign up with Give Back Homes, and they'll give you a ton of marketing information with their logos on it. And that can be your, maybe your affiliate charity that you work with. You know, some of you give 10% to the animal shelters. You know, some give 10% to a church. Some, you know, a lot of agents have a charity tied to them, or, you know, in efforts of what they do, and it appeals then to people that have a similar cause or a similar case. They like that. We've talked about value propositions where, you know, what's your value? You know, when people try to chisel you on your commission and say you're not worth it, well, it's on you to let them know how much you do and what you're worth. And if part of your value proposition is that you give back to providing homes for people who are in need through an organization like Give Back Homes or an organization like Habitat for Humanity, that's a pretty tight fit for a realtor. But I offer you to think about what charities or what you do in your life to give back. It's very rewarding. You know, I know Sherry works with the care group where she they feed homeless and do different activities and much more than that. That's a way you can help, and they do something every month, and that's with the board, and you're hanging out with other realtors. It's something that you can, again, I had a hard time with bridging the gap of that, of like, well, am I using my charity to make me look good as a human being and draw more business from that? And you know what? You need to get past that, because you're actually doing good for somebody, and people like to have that affinity with somebody that's doing good things for people. Then you know, they don't think we're all vultures. They don't think we're all, you know, offense to the used car salesmen and the attorneys and all the professions that people think we're, you know, unscrupulous. You know, we are good people. So to partner with groups like this, or with the board of realtors, or your church, or your local animal shelter, or whatever fuels you, is going to help bring the more human quality to your business, to your people, because it's all about relationships, and people need to know what you stand for. So many of us, I love this saying, let people know what you stand for, not what you stand against. So many people go around and go, oh, I hate this, I don't like that, that's terrible, look at the blah, blah, blah. Be proud about showing what you stand for. And if you don't know what you stand for, take a little time this week. Seriously, I'm not kidding. You know, we travel and we navigate ourselves through life, and sometimes we just find ourselves in places like, how did we get here? Well, take a little personal inventory. We talked about that last week. You know, what do you care about? How do you help people? You know, we talked about on 4th of July, you know, people dying for us for our freedom. You know, how are we giving back to that? How are we helping society? With the politics and with all the nonsense going on in the world, what are we doing to help? What are we doing to give back? What are we doing to make a difference? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having it be your business do that. You know, we have agents here have their own charities. You know, they've raised things. One in particular has a charity that puts kids through college. You know, so that's what your peers are doing. Is $50 a month with Give Back Homes. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this, but they have all this great marketing materials. So if you're a member of Give Back Homes, they're going to send you all sorts of logos and letterheads and tweetable posts on, you know, Twitter, partner fact sheets, different marketing pieces, ways to differentiate yourself, things that you can put on your business card to help separate you and show that you have a cause, that you're an actual human being. You know, the little is something. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we think, you know, oh, I'm going to raise $5,000 for this. That's overwhelming for me. Well, you know what? Going to events, mixers, things like that, meeting people. Like, I developed a nice relationship with Jessica Calkin of Pango Group over the years. And so I was really grateful for her to give me the opportunity to go do that day. And I figured it out and doing it, and I had my questions. I try to be fully transparent to you guys. And it was a great experience. But maybe surround yourself around people that are doing these sort of things. I mean, they're doing it in grand scale. And it was really neat to sit down and talk to them, and over lunch and hear the stories. And so surround yourself with people doing that sort of thing. And you know what? I put in a half a day. I got a good workout in. Got a few blisters, but I felt good about myself and what I do. I think my daughter. She went to Tanzania on a medical mission, and now she's going to go to Guatemala in October. Nice. And she's learning how to now write support letters and ask people to donate money to help her go on her trip to give back. You pay for it, but that's part of the volunteer process. All the people that went to Mwanza on her medical mission raised $2,500 to cover their expenses to go help. And like I said, it took me a little bit to wrap my head around that, but yeah, that's what it is. Raise the money, donate the money to go to help. That money goes for getting medicines, that money goes to airfare, your food, helping kids, helping adults. So again, I really appreciate you guys being here, and I really appreciate what you do. You know that we, in the holidays, we do a drive with the Salvation Army. We get tons of toys for kids. We love doing that. And now we're looking at expanding and doing more. There's something about, this young woman that is getting the house that we worked on for the day. She was a vet. She's a military veteran. Nice young lady. Was a terrible living situation. But, yeah. And they fast-tracked her. She applied a month ago, and she's already moving into a house in Inglewood. And her story was great. And to see her and appreciate her and go, hey, I'm helping somebody who's fighting for my freedom. And to see that smile on her face was a great feeling. Again, all I did was dig dirt, right? But it was something. Something that a bulldozer could have done, but for the situation, it couldn't do it. So that's what was important to be done.
You showed up. That's enough.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's my point. That's a great point. Is just show up. Show up to the Board of Realtors with a loaf of bread. Cost you $2.